you're the Batman, and welcome to Voices of DC. We have a very exciting panel for you guys today, and so I am going to introduce everyone one by one, if you don't mind. We have Diane Pershing. We have Andrea Romano. We have Lex Lane. And we have LaMarr, So, welcome everyone. Is everyone sitting where? Sharing mics?
We got an extra. We have another one. Yes. I don't know if we'll
Okay. Test. Hello.
Yeah,
Is that on? Yes? Monty, there you go. My friend.
I don't know, maybe this is good.
So you all, of course, have worked in this industry for many years. So just to give everyone just a little insight into how you became actors within this industry, or you worked with the shows that you have. So we can go down the line. We can start with Diane first.
Okay, hi. I looked in the mirror when I was 5 years old and said, I'm going to be a star. And I didn't get to be a star, but I got to be an actor. And I studied theater. I went right into showbiz. I've never stopped. And it's been the dream I wanted when I was a child. It's just perfect. So it was easy, really. No, I don't mean it was easy to break in. It's never easy. But it was what I was going to do, and I was never deterred from it. I never had a backup job. Yeah? Okay, that's my story.
When I first started working professionally at all, doing anything professionally, there weren't really voice directors other than Gordon Hunt. I don't think there really was an industry that someone, like in high school, said, I'm going to be a voice director when I was in high school. But I was lucky enough, I started, look, great Cipes.
Oh, what's going on, everybody? Well, I'm here because of her.
And so am I.
So am I.
And Joe's not. But I was an actress first, and then for a very short period of time, I was meant to be a temp at a talent agency as a voice agent's assistant. And that was meant to be a 2-week-long job, and that turned into 2 years. And I became a franchise voice agent, and for a very short period of time, I was the youngest agent in Hollywood. It would be around 1980. And then I was an agent for a couple of years, and then I became the casting director at Hanna-Barbera for years, where I learned everything I learned about directing from Gordon Hunt, this genius in it. And then the first gig I ever did, directing-wise, was DuckTales. And then Warner Brothers TV Animation was formed, and I went over there and did all of their stuff for 25 years.
Me? Well, my first audition ever was for Teen Titans, the original show. First audition ever for voice acting, and I really was excited to go in because I've always been a fan of, DC Comics and Beast Boy. And when I went in, I also didn't. I don't think there's ever been a Beast Boy voice before I did it, right? So there wasn't like a reference for me to kind of like go off. So I had no clue what to do. And they gave me a picture of Beast Boy and a character description. And I looked at it, and then all of a sudden out came this voice. I never did that voice ever before in my whole life. So I walked into this very impressive Warner Brothers animation studio recording booth, and there was Andrea and other producers, and I went in there, and I gave him my best shot, and months later, I got the call, they're like, "You're Beast Boy," and I found out later that Andrea really fought for me to get the role, and I have this amazing life now because of that moment, so thank you, Andrea.
For me, I started as an actor, kind of a ham as a kid. I would do all kinds of shows for my family every summer when relatives would visit. And then through grade school and high school and college, I was a theater major, and I did tons of shows as an actor and some summer stock. And from that, I went into doing stand-up comedy, and I toured all around the Southwest, Comedy Store and all those as a stand-up comic. And one time I was on a set of an on-camera film that my friend was one of the leads in, and we were walking back from having dinner at this sushi place, myself, this person, and a girl named Amy Jo Johnson, who played Pink Power Ranger. And I was doing my stand-up routine, which had a lot of different voices in it, and she said, "You'd be a great voice actor." And I was like, "I have no idea what you're talking about. I know on camera, I know theater, what are you talking about?" So she described a few of the things that voice actors do. And then she introduced me to the producer at the Power Rangers, and I auditioned. I ended up doing a loop for a little bit, but then I became the voice of Rygog and Larigo in Power Rangers Turbo, and then Ecliptor in Power Rangers in Space. And then from there, I started doing voice sound-alikes all through Hollywood for the different movies, and they sometimes require voice actors to come in and sound like famous people. And from there, I slowly got into a few different areas, and one of them was I had the opportunity to audition for Andrea, and also Susan Chico was Andrea's right-hand gal, and she was the start of my Western animation career. She brought me in for Justice League Unlimited, The Batman, Legion of Superheroes. I also did, not with Andrea, I played Batman for Batgirl Year One, which is on iTunes. And I really have a great deal of thanks and gratitude to Andrea for giving me that opportunity and keeping me around when other actors maybe didn't pull it off. And she said, "Lex, could you hang out for a couple minutes after the session?" And then I got even more roles that way as well. And so I'm forever grateful to Andrea, but that's how I started as an actor.
I'm an actor basically by accident. I am the least interesting and least flamboyant and least attention-seeking person in my family. The first play I ever did, I auditioned for because it was a book, The Phantom's Hope, a book that I absolutely loved. And I wanted to play this little character towards the end of the book, and I didn't get it. I got the lead. And the play began with my character giving a monologue to the audience. I walk out on a blank stage with a spotlight on and speak to the audience for like 2-3 minutes, so long. And that first instance, stepping out on that stage, basically it transformed me. And basically it's the dragon I've been chasing ever since. And I don't know. I was an English major, not a theater major, but so I graduated and was going to go work in one of those English firms. I'm from LA, and during high school I had gotten a job on a cartoon. My first professional gig was the Mr. T cartoon. And I wound up getting my SAG card, but I did not consider myself an actor. And if you've ever watched the Mr. T cartoon, neither would you. But after college, I realized I'd been doing plays, doing improv, and I realized I really like it. I haven't caught the dragon yet, but let me just give this a try, because why not? And so I basically said, all right, I'm going to pursue acting until something better comes along.
There's nothing better, bro.
Apparently not. 30 plus years, I haven't found it. So, but it's funny because Andrea did not start my voice acting career, but I do believe you were the one who taught me how to be a voice actor. Because I had a lot of directors before, and most of the time I was just doing voices. But then once we got to static, which is I think the first thing we worked on, I realized, oh, there's acting in this. You know, even though voice comes first, in the name, voice acting, it's really the acting that comes first. And Andrea taught me how to do it, you know, and yeah, that really.
I feel for a moment that apparently I gave 2 sentences and everybody else did 5 or 7 minutes of really interesting stories, and I didn't get a chance. So let me just say, I graduated from college, theater arts, and I went on the road with Johnny Mathis as a backup singer, okay? And then I was a singer for 10 years, and then I was an actress on camera and theater, and then someone heard me talk one day and said, have you ever thought of doing voiceovers? And I said, what's that? And then as far as Poison Ivy on Batman, I was hired for a small role for the particular segment, the first one, Pretty Poison. And the actress, I don't know why or who she was, but she didn't show up for whatever reason, illness or another booking. And Andrea said, would you like to audition for this? And I went, oh, okay. And I came, I looked at the thing, and I said, she's sexy and she's intelligent, I do that. And I got it. This woman, love her.
You want the amazing 10-year singing career.
Well, since this panel has turned into an Andrea Romano love fest, she's amazing. I suppose I would want to ask you a couple of questions first. You, this year, retired after your amazing career, and since everyone up here can advocate and say that you helped them create the personas that they needed for the characters, what have you learned from being in this industry for so long?
Can't take it.
Number one, I love actors. I absolutely adore actors, and not every director does, but I think that's crucial. I think you have to understand what an actor goes through every day in order to get in front of a casting director or a director. Just trying to make it from one audition to another audition to a gig, ideally, to this, to that, and then there's life. You know, they have to do the life stuff, like getting kids and all that stuff. But I love actors and I love their process. I love what they have to do to find a role, to find why that's right, to find the acting, to find the character. I try to give them everything every tool that I can to help them achieve that. So if I can give them a wonderful character description, if I can give them a beautiful line drawing, if I can give them some beautiful copy, audition copy, things that they can act. And as Phil touched on, it's all about the acting. It's great if you can do voices, but it's all about the acting. If you can do a bunch of voices but can't act, you're probably really fun at a party. But higher level, I probably can't pay you money if you can't act. And what I learned was, if I could provide an encouraging environment where actors felt free to play and explore and make mistakes and be silly and go too far and then be able to pull them back, if I could provide that environment, then I could get really good things recorded. Then I could get the best work from actors. If they felt that I was on their side and that I wanted them to do well. And think about this as a casting director, because I've done both, right? I've been casting and directing voices for probably 7 years. A casting director's job is to supply producers with options. I don't really make the ultimate decision as a casting director. I'm just one voice in a bunch of voices making the decision. So I have to provide about 5 different choices for producers to make a decision as to who the best actor is for the role. And I always push for the guys that I think are the best. And I remember specifically with Greg, of course, and we tell the story very often, where he was not known. And everybody else that was auditioning kind of had a career already. And I said, he's the guy. He's absolutely the guy. I'm telling you, he's going to be our Beast Boy for a long time. And they questioned it. And then, of course, the day before the first session, I couldn't sleep the night before, I'm sweating. What if I'm wrong? What if I think he's the right guy, I really do. And that happens every session where I hire somebody new. I'm always thinking, is this the right choice? I think so. And then I sweat with the actor and get through the session. And with Phil for Green Lantern, I remember the producer, Bruce Timm, was not terribly familiar with Phil yet. And we went through about 5 different choices for Green Lantern. And I say, wait till you hear how deep Phil can go with his voice. Wait till you hear what he does, because Static was really what most of Warner Brothers in the U.S. Do a little bit of Static Shock's voice.
My name is Static, and I'll put a shot to your sister.
What his idea is for Green Lantern.
My name is John Stewart.
Give an actor an environment where they're comfortable and let them do what they do.
Well, and also thank you for scheduling Dennis Haysbert right ahead. Because that's who auditioned before me, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's the dude. I'm just gonna do him.
Everything is on your side.
Something that you, Andrea, touched upon, and you did as well, Greg, is that there isn't a difference between voice acting and acting. A lot of people think that if you're a voiceover actor, that's what you do. You're in this kind of box. So I just kind of want to hear from each of you why there isn't a difference. It's all acting. It's all important into captivating whatever persona you are portraying.
When I do a voice part, I approach it as an actor in the same way that I approach my stage stuff or anything, or scene work or anything. I need to know who the person is. I need to know their subtext. I need to know where they are. I need to know where they came from. I need to know that they need to listen to the other person and what they have to say. I need to find the real person that I can create, and usually from something inside me, some experience in my life, whatever. And then maybe the little extra thing we do as a voice actor is find that little thing in our voice that will transmit it. Because when you're on stage, you're just projecting, and it's very hard to actually do a really weird kind of voice on stage without having to add a lot of other stuff. When you're this close to a microphone, you can be creative, and you can do your sexy stuff, and you can do, and you can do all that stuff, which you can't really do anywhere else. But it's still the same thing. Where do I come from? Who am I? What do I believe? I think that's kind of what it is. Yeah?
I agree. I mean, she went deep, but that's really what it's about. You know?
I'm deep.
It's acting. The big difference is with voice acting, you could come to work in your pajamas.
Or have a pimple.
Or have a yeah. And with on camera, which I do both, it's a lot more work. With on camera acting, you have to remember your lines. With voice acting, you don't, which is really nice. Those are the two main things, right? And well, I mean, now with phones, like even our voiceover sessions are on the camera.
Well, for me, a couple things are really important. Remembering what the relationships are with the different other characters that you're interacting with. And Andrea said something to me once that just like was a light bulb that went off. And I knew this as an actor already, but as a voice actor, it's good to be reminded of how do you feel about the character you're speaking with. And each time you have a different interaction with a different character, it's a completely different emotional content state that you have towards that. And when you can really define those, that's when the acting really has room to flourish and come out within. So I'll always be grateful for that. And I direct now, and I also teach some acting classes, and that's always a part of the initial orientation, is talking about those relationships and how you feel about the other characters. Because people will often say, oh, you're a voice actor, I can do a funny voice. They do their funny voice. And I say, well, that's nice. And like Andrea said, that'd be great at a party, but when you're brought in to do a season of something, 26 episodes, you need to carry a character through a story arc and through an emotional arc, that's when you need to be an actor. And that's what I thought. So thank you again. Acting! So
Actually, I mean, I think everybody's covered basically everything tonight. Because I talk about this a lot, especially when someone comes up, because having done on camera and voice, a lot of people is like, you do so many cartoons now. You ever gonna go back to real acting?
right.
And to me, there really is no difference. You know, at its core, our job as actors is to take something, whether it's a script, you know, from, you know, for a film or for an animated show or whatever, or a suggestion for, in an improvisation. You're taking a thing that you're given, and your job is to bring it to life for the audience. And that's the same. The distinctions between whether you're doing it for a camera, doing it for a microphone, or doing it for a room full of people, the differences are purely technical. You know, like Diane was saying, like there are definitely differences. You know, when you've got a camera, you know, 7 inches from your face, you don't want to make big faces. You know, because people can't watch that, people can't take that in. And the same thing when you're on the microphone, you have to be conscious of which of your tools you're using. You know, the fact that the amount of breath you have. If you're shooting a scene with a camera, those distinctions get lost because they're watching your body, they're watching your face, they're watching the lighting. You know, with animation, a lot more of that is heard. People are keyed into it. And the same thing with stage. Like you said, there are things you can do on stage, or things you can do on mic or on camera that you can't do on stage. It's fascinating to me, though, that when you have those distinctions, I mean, because they can make a difference. I mean, it took me a while. Actually, on camera, I still have not become as knowledgeable about the camera. As a voice actor, I am knowledgeable about the microphone. I know how I sound on mic. I'm not that clear on how I look on camera. But I know actors who do. Actors who know their good side, who know how they react to the camera and what they're putting through. In Pulp Fiction, I had scenes with John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson. And there's a scene that I'm in where Travolta is supposed to shoot my character once in the throat. He gurgles, and then finally they put him out of his misery, and they shoot him in the head. And he made Tarantino change the scene because he had a sense of himself as an actor. He's like, I can't kill him on purpose. The audience will hate me. You know? But it's the other thing that I figured out about 5 years into my voice acting career is it's really hard to read words off of a page without sounding like you're reading words off of a page, which is, again, one of those technical differences, but I think those of us who can do it underestimate it, because not everybody, like, most people, the minute they start reading things, their voice flattens out, and they just start doing this. You know, that's what we absolutely can't do. Our job is to do the opposite. Bring it up, heighten it, give it the emotion that the writer intended.
You know what else shows there's no difference is you're seeing now the biggest of movie stars doing voiceover as well. So
That's right.
there's no difference.
Lincoln Continental Scar.
I want to talk to each of you about the roles you played. Diane, you were Poison Ivy in the animated series, and last year the character turned 50 years old. She debuted in 1966. And yet for a lot of us, your Poison Ivy introduced us to that character. A lot of people didn't read her first in the comics. So what did you like about portraying that character, and what was your favorite moments in having her in the show?
Oh, boy.
I loved playing this character. I adored playing this character because the writers were so good, the directing was so premium, the other actors were so good that I was really able to bring a lot of colors to what is basically a real villain. She isn't just, she really is an eco-terrorist who believes that plants have more importance than humans do, and that's a problem. job. I had it for 10 years. After that, they went with, I think, names. I think that's what they did. I don't know. They didn't ask me to go back. But that's an actor's right. That's not a big deal. I had some just major joy. But the episode that I liked the most was called Home and Garden. And it was when Poison Ivy got a chance to have a husband and children and act like a real person with a house in the suburbs and stuff like that. And of course, it was all BS because they were all hot people, but nobody knew that till afterwards, and then she got to go crazy and insane and stuff, and the whole range of emotions. So that was just, it was so fun. And this woman, again, I'm going to have to salute her. She allows you to be creative, and then, as she said, bring it back down. And you don't get a lot of that with voices. This is what I want. Here's the thing. Say it twice, 7. We have 5 more versions of that word. Yeah, good, goodbye, thank you, wow. And that's most of our work. So it was a joy. Thank you.
Diane, I wish someone should bring back that episode and mix it with Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes!
Are you familiar with somewhere that's good?
Greg, you are Beast Boy, and I just wanted to know, when does Greg Cipes end and when does Beast Boy begin? Because you embody that character so much.
Well, thank you. We're very much the same person, especially with the new series Teen Titans Go, which Andrea doesn't get to direct, unfortunately. But she did direct me in the new Ninja Turtles. The new Michelangelo is very much me as well. But Beast Boy, especially with the new Teen Titans Go, he's given me free reign to bring everything I want to him, which is just the wildest, craziest version of who I am, and I just channel that through Beast Boy, including, like a new way to speak, which I'm sure I'm getting kids in trouble in English class all around the world. Yeah, so everything that Beast Boy is now, basically, other than being able to turn into other animals, which I try. We're very much the same person. And, he's my wildest part myself.
I know you probably can't talk much or anything about it, but there was an announcement that Teen Titans Go is going to go to the big screen next year, which is very exciting. Are you excited? I know you can't tell us anything, I'm sure.
When I say Teen Titans, you say go. Teen Titans! Go! Teen Titans! Go! Teen Titans! Go! That's what's up! Well, we've got a movie coming out, I think it's July 18th. 2018 in the movie theaters. Teen Titans Go to the movies. It's going to be really fun movie to see, and it's going to be great music in it. Kristen Bell, my friend Kristen Bell's in it. Do you all know Kristen Bell? We actually were on Deadwood together a long time ago, so this is kind of our coming back together. She played my sister Lover in Deadwood. And then we both get shot in the face. Yeah. Well, yeah, love, like, how you love a flower.
Poison Ivy.
Or Poison Ivy. No, when you said I didn't know that about Poison Ivy, I was like, that's my kind of superhero. We're very similar to Greens. Yes, and Will Arnett is in the movie. And I can't really say any more than that, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of music, and it's going to be on the big screen, which is going to be cool. And there's a Titans live-action show coming out. I don't know if y'all knew that.
On the DC streaming service.
That's right, on the DC streaming service. And I've actually been training the kid who's playing the live-action Beast Boy. He's a sweetheart, though. At first I was like, oh, who gets to play me in the live-action? And I was really angry. I even put like a frown on some post. And then, of course, the next day I meet the kid. And I fell in love with him. And so I've been training him. We've been doing Beast Boy training. His name is Ryan Potter. He's awesome, and he's going to do a great job playing Garfield Logan in the Titans show. He starts shooting in like a week, so he's got a couple more days of training before he heads off.
What is Beast Boy training?
Well, if you follow Ryan Potter's Instagram or mine, you can check it out. It's, like skateboarding in Venice, eating vegan food, teaching them how to make raw superfood green salads. I took them to a Teen Titans Go session yesterday to hang out, and you know, I've got some other things in store for him over the next couple of days. We're gonna paint each other green and go wild. Hangs out with my dogs a lot, those kind of things.
Rex and Phil, you both had characters that were in big ensemble casts with Justice League Unlimited, and Bold, and other Batman shows. What was it like to try to bring your character outside of, I guess, bring them more outside of the ensemble, have them stand out when there's 5 or 6 other main characters? How did you train yourself to be able to bring your personal character to the forefront? What were the challenges of that?
Well, I just tried to get more parts. Can I play the other guy too? No, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I mean, for me, in Justice League especially, when you've got an ensemble show like that, you've also got writers like that. You know, Dwayne McDuffie, Stan Berkowitz, you know, Lenny Lee, all those guys. I mean, you just trust them. Like, at base, my job is to say the words, you know, and make sure I say them right. But as far as like balancing characters, I leave that to them. I do remember talking to the guys in the first season of Justice League. It's like, how do you give 7 different characters, you know, enough to do in each episode? Plus, the world is in danger. So I know that was definitely part of the challenge. And I think what wound up happening sort of wound up benefiting, at least for me as the actor playing Jon Stewart, because you had Superman, you had Batman, you had Wonder Woman, you had these icons, and so much was established for those characters already. It's like, you're not really gonna mix it up a whole lot. Yeah, now he's Clark. Right, yeah. You know, so I think using John as the Green Lantern of that universe gave them a little more space, you know? Because had you tried to hook up Batman with Hawkgirl, like, y'all guys are nice, but y'all some conservative people. Y'all don't want nothing to change. It's not the same as it was when I was 10! Stop it! So, with this new Hawkgirl and this new Green Lantern, they had a little room like, let's do something different with it. So in that sense, it actually sort of allowed my character to stand out a little more plot-wise, just because, you know, you're not gonna give Batman, you know, a new lover, unless Poison Ivy comes in.
Time to kiss on it. No. Thank you. And for me, you know, I agree with Phil. The writing is there, that's one thing. And when we're brought in for a lot of different characters, little bit parts here and there, we're kind of a utility player. We're there to provide all those little nuances that those little characters have. And we depend upon the writing, and we depend mostly upon the director to guide us. But we come in with what we think we want to portray it as, but sometimes we're, you know, dead on, and other times we're way off the mark, because the director knows the entire arc of every character going through the entire show, through the entire series. And if we're brought in for like episode 5, and then all of a sudden episode 9, we're playing Captain Cold in one, Heatwave in the other, you know, Dr. Polaris in the next, we're depending upon the writers and the director. And so that's where we get our motivation from. I think I can speak for those.
As wincing and sound completely different. And they may even speak to each other in a scene, those characters. And that's really hard casting. That really requires talent from the actor, someone who can, and you know, you think about the quality of the show. For Justice League, for Batman, those shows, they were very kind of realistic sound. They weren't really crazy wild voices. They were much more realistic sounds. So you need someone to come in to play 3 realistic sounding people. One may be a thug, one may be the maitre d' of the restaurant, and one may be Captain Cold. But they all have to sound completely different and completely, that they would live in this world together. And a lot of people would say to me throughout my career, thanks for the gigs, I'm so glad you brought me in for a Thug 3 guy too, blah, blah, but I really want to play. And I'd say, you have to understand how precious you are to me, that you can do those 3 voices, and how much I need you on everything I'm working on, because I need someone to do those voices that I can trust, and I know is going to come through, that's going to hear the style of the show. Teen Titans sounds different than Batman, sounds different than Justice League. They ought to be slightly different, and I need those utilitarian players. So that was very difficult casting, and I was lucky to have people like Lex to come in and play on those, as well as some of the bigger roles that they did for me too.
Let's hear 3 different voices.
Can I get that in a quote, please?
Cipes wants you to play.
Yeah, I want to hear 3 different voices because I'm casting for utilitarian actor.
Well, I mean, if you want somebody who works in utilities, that's pretty easy.
Well, would you like someone who is perhaps a gentleman's gentleman? Or you just want somebody who's just going to be, I don't know, like walking on the street. Oh my God, is that Batman?
Well, you might want a very rich southern gentleman come in doing some buying up of property. Or you just might want someone who's got a little bit of a cleaner voice who can come in and be sort of heroic. Or you might want someone who's a little shy, maybe timid, and maybe just be himself.
Well, you might want someone to come in and be very interesting to talk to. Very much so I'd like to have a ground down lady and go in there. Or you can just have a nice mom, who really loves her kids. Just that kind of person.
You might want a big fat seagull that lives in Venice Beach.
Hey man, how you doing?
You wanna pass me a fry?
What's up? Come on.
Yeah, man, we're gonna do it together.
Oh yeah, that is, no, he inspired that voice, but I made him a big fat seagull in Venice Beach.
I'm looking for a chip. You got a chip I can get?
Or you might want a robot, hello, 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 hello. And that's the only thing he says. I did that recently on a Teen Titans Go episode. Or you might want a little green guy. You heard that one already. What about, I don't have any more, that's like for sure, you need a surfer dude, whatever.
Okay, guys.
Or an old Jewish man who needs to find his shoes. Shall I find all my shoes and all my glasses? Shall I bring all my glasses? That's what Beast sounds like when he turns into an old man. He's Jewish. I am.
Well, before we get into audience questions, I just wanted to ask all of you, since we are celebrating the voices of DC, how does it feel to be part of this fandom? We all, a lot of us, especially me, were introduced to your characters through the animation before comics or before any other media. How does it feel to be part of such a loving fandom? We all enjoy your work so much, and we appreciate what you do. So what is it like to be part of that?
We adore you.
Yeah,
Without you, we
absolutely.
have nothing. You are why we work.
That's right.
We make these things for you. And so we're genuine when we say that we like to get your response, because then we know what you want, and then we can all work toward it.
On behalf of the actors, I mean, and all of the actors I've ever worked with on any of these shows are also big fans of all those shows. And I can describe it in 3 words: dream come true. It's been a dream come true to be a voice actor and to be working with the caliber of talent. Whenever I go into any session, I know I'm there because I've got the part, and I've been cast as that. I've gone through the process of auditioning and all that. But I always pinch myself because it's like a master class in watching the greatest voice actors of all time surround me, and I'm almost going like, I snuck in. No, just shh, don't say it.
Pinch me,
Pinch me, exactly, right there. So, it's a real big dream come true as a voice actor to be a part of this,
Yeah.
the brand and everything.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm a big comic book guy. And in fact, it was sort of at times embarrassing during Justice League sessions because they bring an actor in to play a new character or a character that was guesting that episode, and it was like, Andrea would be describing the character to the actor who was, like, oh wait, actually, I think I have one of those in my bag. Shining Knight? Yeah, okay. But so I come at it as a performer and as a fan, and the thing that I love is being a part of these legacies, because most of these characters, we're not creating them in a real sense. These characters existed before us. These ideas grew, out of some in the 30s, the 50s, the 70s, and we get to be part of, that ongoing tradition, and that is both an honor and a responsibility, and we've all been fortunate enough to work on really good, well-produced, well-written versions of these things. And, I'm sure Ryan Reynolds had a good time too. But come on, guys, stop going up to him and saying, why is Green Lantern white? Give the guy a chance. Right? I'm tired of getting angry tweets from him. But everybody brings a little something different. Wherever along the tradition they get a chance.
Yeah, I feel like it really has something to do with the fans every time, the success of a show and the fun we get to have, like you said, Andrea. Actually, a funny story is when the original Teen Titans show went off the air after season 5. It's all about save season 6, right? Everybody's like, save season 6. Well, anyways, the fans were like, is the show ever coming back? And I was on a panel in New Zealand, and I just said, yeah. I just said, yeah, actually it is. And then I sang a song on stage, and then both of those things went viral, and they said the show is coming back, and Cartoon Network received more actual handwritten fan mail to bring back the Teen Titans Go show than any other show in history. And because of that, they started doing the shorts, and that's why Teen Titans Go is alive, is because I started a dirty little rumor. Well, part of it.
Okay, I love my work. I've been doing voiceovers for 45 years. I love my work. I am blessed. We get to be happy with our careers every day. What a difference that is from most people. It's the truth. I love the fans. I love when people come up to me at cons and say, you were my childhood. I love when a young woman comes up and tells me that there was abuse in her household, and when she saw Poison Ivy tell Harley Quinn not to take that stuff off any man, that it made her feel that she could have a chance in the world. I am reduced to tears. I love all of you. I love the fact that you love what we did. I love the fact that what we did made a difference in your lives. I mean, excuse me? How can that be? But it is. So, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay, well, before I cry, we can take a couple of questions and then around the table. Yes.
Recently, I just heard the comic reunion of Justice League, and there was some talk at the end of where can we go on social media? Who can we contact to bring, awareness, like you were saying, about shows that we love?
I did, at the end of this Comic-Con, we did this huge reading of Justice League script, and I told the fans, if you could ever get saying, please make more fans, you have to use your social media to tell Warner Bros. And so, I mean, I would guess that there had to be somebody, anybody?
Throw them under the bus.
know, there's no good publicity project because Gary Mariano is freelance.
Right.
There's got to be some
I think there's a
general.
Warner Brothers Twitter.
Oh, there might be a Warner Brothers.
Just go to the top, look it up online, and send the
Find
president,
out who the head of the division is.
and send letters, because they'll hear about it.
Absolutely, yeah. But absolutely, use your social media and tell them you want to push it. Thank you. Hello, young man in green.
What's up, Beast Boy?
Nothing.
You look pretty fresh, bro.
Thanks.
Let me hear you say that's what's up.
That's what's up.
Better watch out for my job being taken, bro.
What's your question?
My question is, if you guys had to voice any other DC character besides your own character, which one would it be?
Harley Quinn. Oh, that's such a hard one.
I would love, if Kevin had never done Batman, I would love to play Batman, but now that Kevin has, I can't hear any other voice.
I've never played Superman. That would be fun. I got the curly Q that's working.
I guess, oh wow. I don't know. It's too hard. Superman. Coolest Superman that ever lived.
Thank you.
Good question, DC.
Oh wow, there's an at Warner Brothers end. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, this is the last question because we all have a panel.
Well, mine's just a really quick one. Greg, I heard you sing a song about Ice Cream Kitty last year, and I have still not seen that, so I'm wondering when or if we're going to see that at all.
The Michelangelo song that I wrote for Ice Cream Kitty is now available on DVD. And it's also online. If you just YouTube Ice Cream Kitty, there's a really awesome music video and a song that I produced with my buddy DJ Him. And it's slamming. And if y'all love Ice Cream Kitty, you're gonna love this song. And if y'all love the Ninja Turtles, you're gonna like this song. Who loves the Turtles?